Hello and welcome to day 3 of 21 plus 1 days out of the land of make-believe. If you're going to approach life with your values in tow, it's a good idea to know exactly what they are. Let's first define a value. What is it? It is something that you regard or esteem highly, which can be applied in 2 ways. The first is what and or who you value. The second is how you show what you say you value. We're going to focus on the how, the process, which often causes the greatest departure from your authentic life. When people think back on their lives, it's the process that they regret most. For instance, one may regret having spent too much time at work, or having not traveled more, or having been so rigid, or not having been loving enough. We can say that we value family and mean it, but still spend so much time working, trying to provide a certain lifestyle for them that we never actually see them. Now, some might look at that and assess that the person doesn't actually value their family and that more value is placed on work. Well, it will always depend on one's filter, which is based upon their value approach that one is using to look at the situation. Keeping with this same example, if by way of process you value connection, then someone who works so much that he rarely sees his family would strike you as valuing money or title or something else over family. However, if by way of process you value options, then you would say he does value his family, and look how he's providing options for them through building wealth. See how the value filter matters? Another example is if knowledge is a core value approach. You may ask lots of questions or take a little longer to make decisions because of your need to know. Now imagine that you're working with someone who values expediency. They don't need much information before they make a decision. This is where the understanding comes in. We need to have complete understanding of our own value approach to life and be able to recognize when conflicts arise. Understanding our values allows us to name the conflict which is causing us stress for what it is, a value confrontation, as opposed to an opportunity to judge the other person for not having the same value approach that we do. Now, while professionally, it may be difficult to always align your values with coworkers and your organization, relationally, you can choose wisely the friends and romantic connections you make to ensure value alignment. At the end of the day, it's the value approach misalignment that causes the break in connections. Understanding our value approach to life is about administering our lives in a way that keeps us on track. It precludes you from spending too much time with people who can cause you stress and strife, embarking on a career path that causes you the least amount of angst, and otherwise living your life free from a life of chasing labels. Personally, I abandoned my own value approach. Professionally, by working in positions and organizations where my values were not aligned or complementary. Relationally, in the past, I accepted others' values as my own and made every effort to ignore the value conflicts. Given all of the coveted societal labels I was receiving, I made the labels a priority over my values. Regret and unfulfillment arise when we have accumulating value confrontations in multiple areas of our lives. Oftentimes, we're able to make excuses for the value compromise in the beginning. Eventually, we end up lost. The next time someone or a situation gets the best of you, consider how it was misaligned with your value approach to life. At that point, you can also recognize that there is less reason to hold it against the person or the organization. Rather, use it to understand whether or not you can walk together. Now that you have a better understanding of values, take some time to explore yours. Be patient.